Join us, the LPC, this year. Visit us at www.dominicanidaho.org. Visit us at online store at stdominicstore.com. Thank you, and see you in the video. Welcome to a Dominican Moment. Join us for the third Saturday of the month. Join us for the LPC coming up for the 2025 Late Prevention Council. For this 2025 at the Barbarossa Spa in San Jose, California. Join us for this video. Thank you.
Through this, there's a decent way to approach this. It depends upon withdrawing all the prior motions, but we'll get to that in a minute. One of the things to do, okay, hear me out. Number one, which would be to approve the assessment of each LPC. Number two, was to enable the LPC president to adjust variably the assessment upon a chapter at their request at his or her discretion. Number three, create reserve accounts to keep track of chapters and individual donations to the property. And the fourth motion would be to approve the budget. Obviously, outside of this is a discussion as to how to get attention to chapters that need to, donations and individual persons. We can move that to the El Presidente or council. I need to take action. We don't need a committee for that. So we had a couple motions on the floor. Is there any objection from the movements or seconds or others to withdraw those motions? Any objection?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Can you vote by secret ballot?
Yes. If it's requested, we will. That will be on the motion.
Oh, I make a motion.
Okay. Second on the motion, vote by paper ballot. Nary, seconded. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, it passed. So we need some people to prepare some. That's the paper right here. And okay. Make sure everybody gets those pins. Thank you. Yeah, well, no, I'm going to help have one Okay, the current status on the floor is the motions are rescinded. I'd entertain a motion to approve the $80 per person assessment on the each chapter. We'll move. The second. Joe, move. Second. Harry. Oh. There you go. Okay. Any discussion?
So $80 increase to $80.
Okay, all we need to do is to spread out the ballots.
Who moves, who second? So moved. And
Harry. Second.
Our budget might have to increase for paper.
Only LPC members can vote.
then we count the ballots, okay, and then we count who voted yes and who voted no. So right now, we have to figure out how many are legal with regards to, well, 35 on the paper, but how many people are actually here?
There's 11 observers, yes.
No, but I know, but that's, so 35 is on the paper, we have to actually count to make sure there are 35 people. Okay. So now we have 35 on paper, but let's count to make sure everyone's here. Okay, someone's watching. I think this is not.
Okay, hold on, don't talk, please.
Alright, so then, so the ones who vote are the ones who are in chapters, or fraternities, not in formation.
Everybody have one?
Okay, so you can't be an observer, you can't be a chapter in formation.
If you are a LPC rep, raise your hand. Well, we count.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Keep them raised. Counting again. So I got 28, but we're going to count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 28. All right, keep them raised because we got 2 different counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great.
And then plus the 5 numbers you see.
So the first thing that we're going to count is that there are 20 ballots.
Now,
If there are 20 ballots, that means that we're going to have to revote.
no.
So what is it?
5 numbers.
So 20, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Okay, so 33.
Question?
So, to be clear, for the sake of one order kind of thing, if we vote yes, it increases the need.
Yes, I was just going to clarify
Oh,
what your
sure.
answer, what the question you're asking. And the question is, shall we assess, increase the assessment of $80 per person against the chapter?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, yes is you approve it, no is I do not approve it.
What happens if it's no?
Pardon?
If it's no, it would be,
Dean over. Well, we talked about that.
Okay.
The question up and down, that's for discussion then with the board. Pardon me.
You should probably use the bigger part of that box.
Yes. Of the box?
Yeah. Is it simple majority or two-thirds?
Alana,
Is it a simple majority or is it two-thirds?
it's a simple majority. A simple majority in favor will, either way, will make either pass or fail. So you can type in yes or pass or fail, one or the other, but yes or no preferred. Oh. What we're going to do is appoint 2 people to make the count. Audrey, you want to be one of them? Audrey? Heidi, would you like to be the count for the other accountants on counting the ballots? Sure. Okay. So we have 2 persons. We'll have one teller. And Father, would you like to count? And what we call a teller. Heidi will be the teller for that person. One all request.
Heidi? No, make sure you vote.
We're watching here.
My brother is a big life. I do. Ray, did you have a question?
I do on this vote.
Pardon?
On this vote.
Yes, go ahead.
Are chapters voting on this, or are chapters and the officers of the executive committee voting individually also?
Correct.
It's the latter.
Both. You have a point.
Yeah, that's okay. I tried to know where I'm voting.
Yeah, but you can take that even further. You can have a
Where's the trash can again? Oh, can you bring the trash can in here?
We don't have the population of
Shredding of ballots, to China,
Okay. The motion to increase the assessment to $80 against the chapter per person is approved. The vote was 25 to 8. Yes, 25, no, 8. The motion passes. The next motion in that line,
Does anyone have extra ballots? We'll get some more.
next motion would be, let's see, move to authorize the Lake Provincial Council President to adjust variably the assessment against members of the chapter upon their request to the LPC President at his or her discretion. Want me to repeat that?
Yeah.
Let me start at the top. Motion that would authorize the variable, to allow the LPC President to adjust at his or her discretion variably the assessment against members of the chapter. So moved. Joe Havens moved. Second?
The secretary has a question about writing down.
Okay.
Can you repeat that?
Motion to authorize the LPC President to adjust the assessment against a chapter due from its members based upon the LPC President's.
Oh, wait a minute.
seconded. So, yeah. That means that we have a motion on the floor.
You have to vote for it. Yeah, I know.
What it means is that the assessment against the chapter can be adjusted at the discretion of the president.
So you made them.
I didn't know.
You made them, but we never agreed.
Yes, it was seconded.
Yeah, I think, no, I think.
Great.
Vote now.
We gotta get this done.
The
Frank?
last vote was like secret ballot.
Right. All of them will be by secret ballot. That's how I took that. That, am I stating that correctly? Okay. All of them are by secret ballot. The motion on the floor is just simply is to authorize the LPC president to adjust the assessment of a chapter against its members at the president's discretion. If I just say it, I can say it better. Any questions?
We're just naming our town.
Actually, the vote was not called for. Any discussion on the motion?
There's a question on
Dan? Hmm?
This I really like Tony's point on asking, well, is this giving you discretion to ask the comment?
No, but it
Or
does.
like a subsidized?
Well, the vote is being made right now. Discussion is out of order. Unfortunately, we shouldn't have, but it is what it is. But it just simply gives the president the ability to adjust chapter assessment in light of their condition. That's all. And that is, it enables us to do that in light of the fact that we can raise additional funds.
You can always spend more money with your assessment.
Again, you can say,
Jennifer knows at this point. Now, the next time we'll make sure that we discuss the
Whoever knows when we did that, because
I didn't put it on the ballot, but no, sheets that they fill out.
It is out. There's no crowd. I did.
Now you gotta make sure it's 28.
33.
33,
I-
33.
guys are a good group. A little bit of levity. I feel it in this room.
Does anybody need any more candy?
No, yeah. Yes, please, I'll admit I like it in high school.
Does anyone need an orange?
All right, in order. The answer to the question is 29 voting yes, 4 no. The motion is approved. 29 4. The third question, and we will have a discussion on this, to the extent that you want. The motion is to create a reserve account to account for chapters and individual charitable donations to the Lake Provincial Council. Is there a motion to that effect? Alana, make the motion. The motion is to establish a reserve account to account for the chapters and individual charitable donations to the Lake Provincial Council. Is there a second? There's a motion, a second, and is there discussion? No discussion. Sorry, Joe.
Can you repeat the verbiage again?
Repeat the verbiage. The question is, thank you, is a motion is to establish a reserve account to account for chapters and individual charitable donations to the Lake Provincial Council. Any other discussion, Joe?
Has there been motions?
Yes, the motion's on the floor. It's not voted on yet. Discussion still
In the
appropriate.
interest of
Dave?
time, does it need to be silent? Does it need to be silent?
Pardon?
In the interest of time, does it need to be silent?
Yes. During the time of voting. Any other discussion? Seeing none, go ahead and vote.
Two for the table, three for the table.
Oh, there's the next one,
Silence, please. Sounds like a little bit.
Yeah.
No one else?
While they're counting, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to Arlene Quinn for her work in getting Dionysius for us laid to rest. Those who know Dionysius know what a treasure he was and is, and his sense of humor and everything that came with it. And we've had the joy of the LPC meeting. Yes. Anyway, he died 3 years ago, I think prematurely. So anyway, we finally got him, and then I asked everybody to kind of donate. And the this is an example that Tony's talking about. We got a response from chapters and chapter members of about $4,300 in a relatively short period of time. And we were able to pay the initial expenses straight up that were incurred on Denise's behalf. And then Arlene picked up the box, and I couldn't get I don't know what happened, I just couldn't get the attention of the cemetery. And I'm all talking to like, oh, we'll get back to them, like 3-4 times over, probably a close to a year period. And obviously, you kind of forget, and 3 months later, 4 or 5 months later, you pick up the phone call again. And Arlene, back in April, I think, maybe February, picks up the ball and she calls and says, blah, 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 we matched out. I said, yeah, we'll send it to balance to them. She got a hold of them, walked it through. We got the check off to them, a month ago or 2? So I just want to thank you. That's the kind of thank you. And everybody in this room who knew Dionysius has a thank you. And even those who were just praying for him, because he's obviously a brother, Dominican, that passed on before us. And what a guy. Just really good guy. So, I thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Sharon.
Oh, never mind.
That was quick.
I know.
Okay. The question is, to the reserve account, the answer is 31 yes and 2 no. 31 yes and 2 no, so it passes. It's approved. The next motion, and the final, to be entertained is to approve the budget originally submitted. It's subject to amendment, but Logan?
Can I ask a question?
Not that we have a motion on the floor. Is there a motion to that effect? William Curry, motion second, Calvin. Okay.
So, I don't have it in front of me, but the budget as stated allowed for a $75 assessment, and this increases to 80.
Right.
So, should there be a time period where the budget is adjusted accordingly?
Yes, I think that's appropriate. I think that we can adopt the budget as proposed, and that she could do, or Sally could then make the adjustment after LCC and then send it out to everybody. Or I'll send it out, she can send it to me and I'll send it out. Great question. Calvin.
Point of order, we had previously taken as submitted and approved 2 motions, so those motions are included.
I think they were approved, weren't they?
There are 2 that were approved, one was Lee's stipend stipend.
And what we did is we went through all the standing motions, so yes, as amended. this motion would be as amended. Thank you for that point of order. Other questions or points of order? Okay, so the question for the LBC is to approve the budget as amended.
Does that include the $80 that amendment price?
No, that would be adjusted. It contemplates it, and it would be increased accordingly. But it will be sent out after the bill.
Which amendment, which you said as amended, which amendment specifically?
Calvin?
There was one that we just passed, $80, and then
Yes.
the speaker's stipend was reduced from 500 to 0,
Yes.
and the 3W client was reduced from 850 to 500.
And was there adjustment as to the DLIPC?
Yes, yeah, we got that one, 3,000.
Okay,
That didn't count.
that didn't happen. That was withdrawn. Okay. All right. Then the motion would be subject to an amendment to the DLIPC or anything else under the existing budget as mentioned by Calvin. Is there a motion to increase the budget for the DLIPC to 3,000? Calvin? So moved. Is there a second? Alana? Any discussion on that adjustment? Do you mind if we make that approval up or down on a open question? Do you have an objection to that?
Yes.
No. So that all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Okay, fair enough. So it goes back to the original question, approval of the budget as amended in the past and then present to include the $3,000 for the DLIPC. So, go ahead, Bill.
We gotta recount. We're gonna revote.
Hanging Chad, pregnant Chad, dimpled Chad.
This was a missing one, not an added one, okay?
Thank you for clarifying.
Go to the table for one second.
Like
reducing the, that's not
It's
changed.
just the top.
Yeah, mine,
There was a little bit to change it, and then it was again.
And that was rescinded.
That was.
That was rescinded. And reducing the 3W Med Clinic to 500 donation, and the DLIPC was raised to $3,000. Am I stating that correctly?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Just to give you an example of how Rosa's bill changed this year. This year it changed to, last year was what, 15,000? Some. And we had to pay a quarter of it to reserve it. So we paid $4,380, which is about 1/4 of the total amount last year. We paid that in September. And the balance for this weekend is $16,297. So that's a $4,000 increase. And so, and 2 years ago, the rooms and meals were under $300. And this year, it's $392 for the room and food. So that alone kind of $100. All right. Budget has been approved. Yes, 33. 30 yes, 3 no. Okay. We plotted a course through that, and in plotting the course through that, we're contemplating the reality that we can work with chapters to deal with their assessment, number one. Number two is to start using the nonprofit charitable status of the organization to raise funds. So get ready for solicitation, and nobody's going to push money to just break the bank or anything, but if you can help, and this is the same talk I get from our members, like, we're not here trying to take from what you can. It all has to come out of surplus. But if you have it, great. If you don't, that's okay. We're trusting God at the end of the day. And I think that's the angle our chapter is taking. I know a lot of them have. We don't start budgeting in taxes per person. What we do is give a little extra if you can. If not, you can't afford it. Anyway, thanks so much for your patience, kindness, and endurance in the last, well, to be honest, it feels like about the last 6 hours. Next on the list is more business. And it's two. Frank.
Just a closing comment on the budget process.
Yes.
We just acted for like the past 2 hours as a committee of the whole
Right.
on issues that could have been worked on by a committee on budget or finance throughout the past year and come up with several alternatives. So just food for thought about effective committee work.
No, I can appreciate that, but the discussion is that's what they're here for. And maybe a budget committee is appropriate, but at the end of the meetings of the budget committee, this body has to argue through it again. And when I say argue, it comes from the perspective of attorney top
mercifully short. Especially since as vice president, I don't have a whole lot to do. But I really enjoy being part of the PD process. It's been very challenging, personally for me, and challenging in a good way. It challenged me to really study it and evaluate myself. But I really want to commend all of you, all of the fraternities. I was so impressed last year with all the work you put into this. Really told me you really took this to heart. You really studied and evaluated it. And you came up with a lot of information that we didn't consider, that we needed to consider. So I really appreciate that. And I just want to commend you that you did that. That's all I have. Alejandro, do you have any comments?
I have no comment.
You know, I have to compliment her because she's a really great secretary. And all of us agree, and so I can't say enough about in thanks. Seriously. DLIPC. You and I can come up with it.
Should we move into elections?
That was a hint. Okay. The next, we'll talk about the DLIPC later. So let's step into elections. Now, persons up for election include Ann and myself. For Ann, she could be reelected for another term. For myself, another term. Into those terms, it's over. So I'm up for those. The way the procedure is going to work is we'll first do Ann, and any nominations to her, on that, and then I will turn it over to Brian to handle the chair for election president and accept nominations, et cetera. So, what is open now is a motion for nomination of the DLIPC representative. Okay, happy to do that because I was confused for years.
What are you asking?
What is the DLIPC?
I'll say it a little.
Yes, there's your.
So, okay. So 3 years ago, I was nominated for the DLIPC and I was going, I'm looking at my piece of paper. What does that mean? It wasn't even written out. Dominican Lay Interprovincial Delegate Council. Still don't have it. So, anyway, so we meet, there's 4 provinces in America and then Canada. So there's 5 provinces. And we meet every 18 months and talk about our issues and share ideas. But we've only been on Zoom this past 3 years. And it's kind of feels like nothing in a way. I don't feel like I know any of these people from these other provinces, that I need to meet people in person, right? So,
Yes.
I am going to step down. I'm not going to be up for nomination for another term. So it was kind of a tough decision because I've enjoyed working with this province and I've learned a lot. I came from a nursing background with boots on the ground. I wasn't administrative, so I'm sitting here learning as I go, all this voting and everything. Anyway, it's been great, but my fraternity back home needs me. And I'm at San Francisco, St. Dominic's. I'm the prioress there, and we're growing. We have 25, and we have postulants and novices and temporary professed, and we're moving quickly. So, thank you, and that's it.
I have really enjoyed, and she and I think reason why is we haven't done anything with DLIPC. And it's not her fault. What I mean is the Zoom meetings would go on for hours, and it's like we want to crawl out of the computer by the end of the meeting. And it makes it meaningless, because I don't know Terry or Joe on the other end, and the only person I know is Father or Ann, and we have a whole plate full of people on the screen. So anyway, thank you for your support and your levity and goodwill and just effective personality. We much love that. So the floor is open for nominations.
I'm gonna write them down here.
Is there a nomination for DLIPC? Alvin?
I nominate
Alana Bird.
Thursday, seven.
Accepted. Okay. Floor is open for nominations. Is there any further nominations? That being the case, if there's no further nominations, it's unanimous consent granted that we elect her as the DLIPC representative. Hearing no objections, so
I'll
okay.
teach you all I know. I will teach you all I know.
I'm going to turn the floor over to Brian.
No speech.
Now we need nominations for president.
I nominate John.
Second. Second.
Any other nominations? Going once? Going twice?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did what happen?
you're the only one nominated.
Oh. What?
You accept.
I accept.
Okay.
Thank you. I really thank you. The relationships established here and on the side out there with people mean a lot to me. And so I appreciate that very much. We all come together to make it great. It's been a pleasure. Yes.
When is the turnover? Is it like, do I step there and she step here right now?
No, 60 days.
60 days.
Come on, Elijah. The term is 3 years. So my term will run through 2028. At the LPC of 2028. And then 60 days after that, the new president takes over, because my ability to serve ends at the end of that policy. It's a good idea, the forefathers thought of it. Yeah, next year we'll include Brian,
Vice President.
Alejandra as secretary, and Araceli as treasurer. So it's up next year. Brad?
So you've done it for 2 years, right?
Funny, I was thinking about the other day, I couldn't have told you which ones were up or down. I haven't looked at that. Okay. Okay, and one of the things, just a quick comment, and make the comment, which is quite appropriate, but for the future, from now and into the future, you need to be open to serve at the fraternity level, at the chapter, and at the LPC level. You know, if you're interested, let it be known. It doesn't have to be a public announcement. You just go to somebody and get yourself nominated and talk it through. And I'm open, others are open to talk about what would those duties look like, how much time time is involved? What's the commitment? What is the knowledge base? What do I need to do? And I particularly encourage those who are interested. I know there is people interested in this. I was, and it sparked my interest, especially when a certain person was doing things I didn't like, which Dionysius knew all about. He used to listen to me. And he was, anyway, that goes back to the problem is there more. It's really neat to be a part of it, to be here and to be a part of it. So I just encourage you, just in all sincerity, it's something that I think it closes in on an obligation, but no one on the side or anywhere else is going to impose that on you. But just consider it as a serious consideration. All right. Next is the governance of the province. And let me get some of the little stuff out of the way first, which somewhat has been talked about. One is the DLIPC. I think we mentioned that we're having the United States and Canada. It's not North America. North America includes Mexico. But Canada and the United States provinces will join us in Portland next April 27th. There's 1 or 2 days involved there at Holy Rosary in Portland. We'll get more information out about that, and there's about 15 to 18 people that will come. And they're from all over the country, and a very interesting group of people. And we'll sit down and talk about Dominican life and how to make organization. The issue is, and I've been asked this a number of times, DLIPC has no jurisdiction over it except talking. And I would not support any jurisdiction outside of that. But it's been talked about to have that I would oppose that. So I just want you to know that that's part of getting along, talking to people, and improving our condition, and getting the gospel out. Frank,
Why doesn't it include Mexico?
I don't know. Language problem. I would love to see it, Frank. Then it would be truly a North American organization. Any questions about that at all? I know the DLIPC is kind of strange. It's still strange to me. Yes.
With our Dominican legislation, it's very important to note that every convent or chapter or fraternity has its own rules, and then that goes up to the province level, and then it goes up to the order. Okay, so that's universal. There is no in-between order and province. And the reason for that is because this in-between part isn't made up of anything. Okay, so we're not made up of convents or priories or provinces. You know, we're made up of provinces, but those provinces then go to the largest element of the order because the order is made up of provinces. So the order is not made up of regions. Okay, so that's why there's nothing in between. So it goes from straight from province to order. Okay, so that's one of the aspects of our voting and our coming together as Dominicans.
A good example of that is when I talked to the president of the LPC in St. Joseph province, which is he's in Connecticut. They're highly organized. He has forms that are coming out of your ears. So I call her on the phone, you have a form, such and such. And off she sends it. And she's just generous about that. It's a wonderful resource for us. And so getting to know her as a friend has been very helpful. I never met her, but she's one of the friends I have over Zoom, which I found amazing. Okay. The next one is I'd like to talk about the Formation Commission report and its status. Alana, do you want to talk about that and any others on your commission that they want to see? Well, I know you have. Thank you.
once a month, sometimes twice a month, to discuss formation, which is a giant topic, which is really hard to take the fire hydrant, fire hose in your face and distill it down. What do we want people to come away with? What are we supposed to know? And our goal is to discern what postulants and novices needed to know and should be introduced to. We really went slow and went with prayer and discernment. We took our time discussing the importance of these things. How do we want people to respond to the formation? And in the beginning, Francesca sent out a survey. Well, Francesca made the survey. We sent it out, received it, and gave it back to Francesca, and she synthesized it beautifully. And it really helped us. So those who responded, whose formation directors responded, it was very helpful. We got a lot of resources out of that. So if you have more resources, send them our way. So thank you all for your participation in that. And Father Heinleiner gave briefly a formation perspective on the beginning of their formation and how it's very important to start in prayer and like how do we pray and how do we become a community in prayer. And then we also discussed what was working and what was missing in our chapters. Like what were we actually struggling with? And two big things came up. The first big thing was for first year formation, penance. There is not a big discussion or even teaching people about penance, how to offer up for struggles in life in the beginning of our formation. So Father Hudson told us that our bow is bent in study, and penance is for sharpening the arrow and to direct the arrow correctly. And how important it is for us to take our daily life, the struggles in our daily life, like not necessarily even adding anything special, like special penance, but daily life suffering, offering it up, and then adding it to a study for the growth in the fruit. And that also includes serving the poor, including giving something that might meet some need in the intellectual life to the poor. So serving the poor and also ministering to them, preaching to them. And as we talked about yesterday, it gets rid of the laziness and distractions that we tend to have. And it directs us toward the purpose. And it's a rejection of sin, not a rejection of life, saying, God, I want you to change my life. So all of these things in terms of penance to be given in the first year of formation, so that then they are learning in a Dominican life in a way that is penitential, as we should be, as we began as penitents. And for the second year, we discussed and found that finding a mission, discussing and discerning mission. How do we take what we receive, integrate it, and then go out? And how do we do that as a chapter and as for those apostles that we have? And I believe that we will be talking about apostles next, I think. But two different types of mission. Mission to the chapter, so that from the second year, we are talking to them about the responsibility of serving the chapter, the responsibility of holding office in the future. That is what is expected as a Dominican, so that it is not the same people over and over again who are taking these jobs because no one else is willing to do them. Like, it is part of being in the Dominican life to do that. And then mission also to go out and serve and preach. So those two things presented in year 2 was what we discussed as being the big things that we saw lacking. And we did the 1-year example suggestion. This can definitely be improved upon or made, edited, whichever. But it definitely gives the overview of the things that we thought needed to be introduced in the first year. So,
book?
A short method of mental practice.
Oh, okay.
And he said, oh, it says it's a way to pray. It's not necessarily the way to pray. A Dominican way to pray. So if it works and brings you fruit, then pray it. If it doesn't, then and then this one, which was already promoted by the author. All that got and then I was going to give you today's reading from it. So this is the Holy Name Daily Devotional. And today's devotion is, may you so continue in the course of defending righteousness upon which you have embarked for the name of Christ, and for the eternal reward, that by the gift of God you may eventually attain to the crown and contest, which is so holy and pleasing to him. And hope, thanks for reading. That's what I have. Unless you guys have any questions, we can talk about it.
Is that second month, is that for first year, second year,
For everyone.
for everyone?
It can be for anyone. Anybody who's interested in any extra devotion to the Holy Name, because we are the product of the Holy Name. These are both in the bookstore. I borrowed these, so these are for sale. Because I have mine at home.
I don't know how many copies we have left of it, but they ran quickly. So we can always get more if you want to.
This one is also on Amazon.
They're both on it.
I briefly glanced through it, but I noticed that I always thought that it would be like a book and scriptures. Is there a reason why there's not a scripture for each one as well? Or is that like one section to the
I have a scripture in this text. So I guess I will also add the St. Dominic's Way of Life on this list is a fantastic new book from two priests from the St. Joseph province, from the Eastern province. It's not very long, but it goes over, it really blends St. Dominic's life with the pillars. So it really shows how the pillars are Dominican and not just taught separately, right? Yes, that makes sense. These pillars make sense, but it really shows why these are Dominican. And it's really important for first year. So, Father Briscoe. The work on Father Briscoe. Yes. Father Briscoe and Jansen. I think that was good. See you tonight at 7:30.
This is the end of the video. Join us for the next video. Please visit us at dominicanidaho.org. This is on shop online at stdominicstore.com. Thank you. Thank you for watching. This is for a video for the next part. See you in the next video.